Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Rome Business Radio. This is the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. I am Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio.
And I'm Thomas Kislett with the Rome Floyd Chamber. Good morning.
Hi there, Thomas. How are you?
Good. How are you?
We are well here at Rome Business Radio. Things good at the Chamber?
Yes. Weather's nice.
Well, we are still on Zoom, but we're hoping to get off Zoom here soon as the pandemic comes to an end. We fingers crossed and all of that, and the world gets back to normal slowly but surely. So we're in a Zoom room. Thomas, would you please introduce our guests?
Absolutely. We have guests from three organizations and companies today. I want to go ahead and introduce Devon Smyth. She wins the prize for the most beautiful backdrop today. It's beautiful. And she's the executive director with the Davies shelters. Then we have Carey. He's the president of Logical Systems. And then we have Reanna Tucker. She is the property manager of Charles Williams Real Estate Investment Corporation, and Danielle Stitt. And she's a leasing manager with Charles Williams Real Estate Investments Corporation. So very nice mix of guests today, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
He mentioned your background, Devon. You're the only one outside on this gorgeous day. Everybody else is inside.
Yes, I'm over at our men's shelter, and we've got several guests who are doing case plan meetings and other stuff inside. So I got to have the patio today.
Well, great. So kind of what we like to do off the top of the show is give everybody 30 seconds to a minute to basically kind of tell us about your business or organization. So Devon, since we're starting with you, just kind of give us the basic information, if you could, of the Davies shelter.
Sure. So the Davies shelter serves unsheltered neighbors in the Rome Floyd community. The shelter houses 16 men over on East 18th Street, and the Ruth and Naomi house houses 12 women, 4 of whom have children. So 8 single women and 4 moms with children up on North Broad. We also have a farm and a mobile farmers market that will be kicking off those routes in May. Will be at the Between the Rivers Farmers Market, and then some stops out around the city to help alleviate some food insecurity here in Rome.
So we'll circle back around to get into more details of that. Now let's talk with Danielle and Reanna from Charles Williams Real Estate. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
We are hunky-dory, as we say down south. How's my old friend Charles doing?
He's doing well. Good.
Real estate investment is good.
It's really good. Housing in Rome right now is at a demand, so he's doing well.
Well, tell us a little bit about Charles Williams Real Estate. People have probably heard the name for years, but you guys, you're in apartments, you're in senior living, you're corporate, you're in a little bit of everything, aren't you?
Yes, sir. They've been around for 50 years in Rome, Georgia, giving people housing needs, and I came from River Point Apartments, where we successfully leased that place in 4 months. And
Wow.
So now I'm here at Skytop to help get these leased. And we're very excited about Skytop Studio Lofts. We are workforce housing, so we're here to provide lots of housing for those who are here on assignments or, short term. We do a 12-month lease.
So, Danielle, you're the leasing manager, right?
Correct.
All right. So, and Reanna, you're the property manager, right?
I am.
So what does that mean? What are the job differences here?
Nothing.
Basically, we're trying to lease this place up.
Yes.
I deal with people mostly, and she's handling the business side. But right now, we're both dealing with people. We're both trying to get this place filled up, and that's our main job.
And how close are we?
We've got a little while to go. We opened March 1st. We've got almost 50 occupants. It's newly renovated, just trying to get the name out there. It's a new kind of idea for Rome. So we're getting out there.
Okay. We will circle back around, but I want to make sure we bring in Chris here before I get down to too much questioning with the various people. Chris, you're with Logical Systems. So, yeah. Which is IT, computer technology. Can you kind of give us the overview of what you guys do?
Yeah, so we've been around for 38 years. That coming up in May, and we have two sides, and it was always two divisions, and now we have really two legal different companies. One is Logical Systems, which does network infrastructure. So we run cable, we put in big network equipment, wireless systems, camera systems, phone systems, really anything that runs over, a network. And then we have Logic IT, which is we split off our managed service division to its own entity, and I have a partner now, and so we do provide IT services to small, medium, large entities.
So when you say IT services, that's email support and security and things like that, so people can't hack you, websites.
Yeah, backup, recovery, security, just typical user issues. Just like an outsourced IT department type of.
Gotcha. And so, but from small businesses to large.
Yeah, we have, or I'd say medium, really. Yeah, small and medium businesses.
But it's interesting you mentioned the other side of it. I had not even thought about when I went to your website and was Googling a little bit, and people forget about it when you said everything that's on a network, phone systems, things like that. Everything's kind of connected, and there's so much technology we rely on every day, and that's in y'all's wheelhouse, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, Devon, I know you wanted to mention you guys have a fundraiser coming up for the Davies Shelter. When is that, and can you give us some details?
Sure. Our first in-person fundraiser since December of 2019 due to all the pandemic restrictions to keep us all well. So we're excited. We'll be at River Dog Outpost on June 27th. It's a Sunday afternoon from 5 to 8 p.m. A ticket is $50, and that'll include beer, a Speak Cheesy sandwich, a hot dog, Frios, popsicle, frozen drinks. We've got a guest DJ that's coming to spin the tunes, and there'll be a raffle of a paddle board as well. So we're excited about being in person and getting to have a Sunday afternoon outside in the sunshine all together.
Speak Cheesy. That's good stuff too.
Good stuff.
You mentioned that this is kind of your first outside thing or first gathering. How has the pandemic affected you guys as we, it's been over a year and hopefully we're all coming out of it now, but sure. I guess you primarily, you deal in fundraising.
I do. Yeah. And we've, so we followed the governor's orders last year. We sheltered in place beginning in March. And 2 weeks ago, we were just able to lift that shelter in place order with the state's recommendation of well-being for folks. So that means that we ran staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for over a year. So financially, we blew our budget in about August of last year, but I couldn't imagine turning people out and saying, gosh, there's a pandemic, but you just have to go somewhere. So we were very fortunate. Rome is a generous community, and the community stepped up to help us serve those that are, traditionally underserved. So we are catching our breath on this side of it. Vaccines have made a huge difference. In a full year, we only had one case of COVID in 2 shelters, which feels like a win. We had some serious protocols in place. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy number. And we've talked about this before because you've been on the show before, but can you put numbers in perspective for us in the Rome Floyd community? How many homeless do we have that?
Yeah. So every other year in odd years, the state of Georgia does what's called a point in time count. That is one night all over the state of Georgia, communities go out and count their unsheltered neighbors. So you go to camps and places that you would know people might be. We did that in 2019 and had 183 that were unsheltered that we counted. The state audited that count and came back and said the count was only 157. I'm not sure I don't know what the criteria for the audit is, but I feel safe saying that at least 150 in our community on any given night. We typically serve 100 in each of our shelters during the year. Our guests are with us either 3 or 6 months, depending on how they've come to us, and are working with case managers and finding jobs and meeting needs around substance misuse and mental health needs, and any other, if they're trying to reestablish IDs or any other kind of credentials, we're helping them with that as well. Just basically connecting them in ways that will help them move out of here into self-sufficiency.
Well, and Danielle and Reanna, how did the pandemic affect you guys at Charles Williams Real Estate? I know it's funny. The housing market seems over the last year seems to have really taken off. But how has it affected your business overall?
Really, overall, I was at River Point most of the time during the pandemic, and we had a strong wait list. People were still moving. We actually didn't lose anyone due to the pandemic. Nobody moved out from River Point because of the pandemic. I was quite surprised. We did close our offices to the public for a while, but we didn't have any outbreaks in the community, or I had it. It wasn't fun, but we've done really well. This is a good time for housing in Rome. So,
and Reanna, you had touched on a minute ago something about, you said Skytop is kind of a unique concept. What is different about it? What makes it unique?
So what makes it unique is that it is a conversion. It was a studio before. When we are, completely rebranding, changing the image, everything. So we converted it to residential apartments. So it's all utilities included, rent included. So it is a new concept. It's not a traditional apartment that you're used to.
And the location is?
We are on Chateau Drive. So it's actually it's a really beautiful location. It's got a nice drive hill up. And when you are up here, it's nothing but beautiful scenery behind us. It is gorgeous.
That's the word Skytop.
It is.
So Chris, what about back to the pandemic, just briefly, were you guys affected at all?
Yeah, I guess like anybody, we were affected. Some of our guys started working from home more, but since we're in telecommunications, we spent a lot of time helping our customers also work remotely. And then we were considered critical infrastructure. So at no point were we ever even near having to shut down, other than, if somebody came in contact with someone with COVID, we'd have to, have a couple of guys stay home. But for the most part, we were working over at the Rome City Schools College and Career Academy. So that kept us busy through the pandemic, and we were finishing up some other projects. So we were very fortunate to sort of be business as usual.
Well, it's funny. You mentioned, how long have you guys been in business? It was over 30 years. What's?
We're 83, so in 38 years, I guess. Okay. If my math is correct.
So you're in the technology business. So 1983 was landlines and no computers, no smartphones. Did fax machines even exist yet? What?
I was only 13 at the time. So, and funny story, when I finally got to college, I was a music major, and I decided I didn't want to do that as a profession. Although I loved playing. And so my mom said I should go into computers. And I told her that was a fad, that computers were going to. And so the lesson here is to listen to your mom. Mom knows best.
It was a fad, like rock and roll. It was just
right, exactly, like disco.
Oh, that was a fad. It was just interesting because just the technology that has changed, we take it for granted, but my goodness, since 1983 when you guys started. So was this a family business or did you buy it, or how'd you come into?
I bought it.
Okay.
Yeah. After working here for a while.
Okay. So, I'm sitting here trying to remember, and literally I remember landlines, and I guess fax machines existed, but anyway.
It was the punch cards. I remember taking a couple of tests with punch cards and things like that.
Oh my goodness. You mentioned working remotely. I guess we've all kind of gotten, we're doing this podcast remotely. It's a new world. Thomas, from the Chamber's perspective, obviously a lot of people have been working remotely over the past year, but are we learning new ways to do that? Is that going to stick in some cases? And we'll do virtual stuff and we'll do face to face. Is the business world kind of adjusting and going to keep some stuff like virtual work?
I think so, especially as far as events. We just had a very successful Confluence, which was a hybrid event. And last year we had our small business expo planned the hybrid way, but, we had to, the second wave hit and we had to just do it virtual. The beauty of virtual, you can reach people around the globe. You can increase your network. You can sell products on the West Coast and anywhere in the world, basically. So that part will definitely stay with us. Although you can't replace the human touch and the face to face and the interactions. We're definitely looking forward to having more networking meetings like that in the near future.
Well, and that's one of the things we like doing on this podcast, here at Rome Business Radio. We're really wanting people to share their stories and create connections. So I kind of call this a cocktail party mixer. We've got these three different entities and they may know each other, they may not, but maybe something will click and occasionally business comes out of this. But also I like to talk about people's individual backgrounds that kind of put them where they were. Chris, you mentioned your music major and you ended up in IT, but Devon, what is your background? How did you get into the Davies shelter?
So I have a bachelor's of arts in history, fine arts, and English, and was called to ministry years ago. Just didn't know quite what that looked like. I'm a kid of the 80s as well, and there weren't a lot of female ministers at that point that were models. I went back to seminary at Duke Divinity in 2014, 2012, and graduated with my degree from Duke Divinity in 15. And I am a postulant for holy orders in the Episcopal Church, which means I'll be ordained. My ministry is to those that are marginalized. So I will stay with the Davies shelter regardless of my change in my title. I'll be reverend, but I'll continue this work. So I've always had a heart for those who have been overlooked and lost in communities. And so this is where I serve. I've done social work most of my adult life as well as inside the church ministry, kind of side by side.
So first of all, the fact that it's a life's passion, good for you. Some people spend their whole lives not knowing what it is that's important to them. So again, we talk to all different kinds of business backgrounds. Obviously there's personal fulfillment for you, but what are the headaches? Is fundraising a headache? You always have a smile on your face.
Sure, no, I'm just laughing. I mean, last year I didn't sleep a lot. There was a lot of nights that I laid in bed and thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to lay off 15 people and close doors. And so, yeah, when you say fundraising, I immediately hearken back to, July of last year when I was watching the money go away. But I think, I generally enjoy speaking with people and sharing the story of what we're up to in our community. And so I think the things that make me the saddest maybe or hurt the most is when we aren't successful with a guest and we feel like we might have missed something with them. And there's that constant pull back toward what can we do better as an agency and how can we serve those that are marginalized better. So that headache maybe, but really more just a grief. And how do we reframe what we do to take care?
And the goal here is to transition, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so I love that Charlie Williams has folks on here. Because there was a phone call yesterday over to y'all's office about Skytop because there are only 10 rental units. I'm on the special committee for housing that the city and the county has convened. There's not a lot of rental units for our guests especially. And so I'm excited that there's another opportunity in town that would allow, we've got a lot of guests who are working, but they can't find anywhere to live. So that other than just a stay lodge kind of model, and that's not a sustainable model. So I'm excited. It's an innovative way to solve a problem.
Yes.
That's good. You ladies are nodding in agreement. So tell me about the conversation or the possibility here.
The possibility we have, like I said, there's 200 units here and only 50 so far are filled.
I got you.
So we definitely have the opening. The rates are $850 a month, so they are definitely lower than a conventional walk-in, and that's all utilities combined
and furnished.
And there's just really not any rentals available right now. So we opened at the perfect time.
That's great. I love synergy on the show. I guess we need Chris now to come in and wire your IT. No.
He's like a month too late.
I know.
So Danielle and Reanna, what's your background? How did you get where you are at Charles Williams?
Well, I have been in property management for 16 years, and I used to work in Atlanta for most of those years. I lived in Rockmart. My husband is from Rockmart, so we've lived there while we've been married, and we are recent. Now we are Romans. We're official Romans. And when I was just tired of commuting to Atlanta, and so when River Point was being built, I was like, here, I'm really good at leasing, and I'm really good at lease ups, and that was my forte. So I interviewed with Charlie and was successful over there. And now I know we're going to be successful here at Skytop. And I'm happy to be in Rome. I'm 5 minutes from my home and from my boys' school. So I love it here in Rome. And I know Skytop's going to be very successful.
Yeah, that Rockmart to Atlanta commute is probably far different than your current commute.
Oh my gosh, it was brutal. If I find myself getting angry on Broad Street, I remind myself I could be on 75. And I'm very thankful that I'm here in Rome.
And Reanna, what's your background?
So kind of the same thing. Right out of high school, I got offered a leasing agent position, and I was like, what? Okay. And I never left. Same thing kind of with her. I live in Cartersville, but I was commuting to Chattanooga, and I had drove to Chattanooga for 5 years.
Ow.
I was over a senior HUD community that was a high rise in downtown Chattanooga. I wish-wash back and forth if I was going to leave. And finally, my kids are out here. Everything is out here. This is a great company. So I finally took the jump and I left Chattanooga. So my whole 15-minute drive is amazing.
Well, y'all are both doing I-75 in different directions.
Different directions. Yes. Mine was 77 miles one way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thomas,
I went all over Atlanta, and I will say this is by far the best commute and my most favorite commute. Yes.
Yeah, Rome is great, isn't it? Thomas, what's your commute time?
Usually one song. So that's one song on the radio. So
That's awesome.
That's the downside. Long commutes mean a whole album usually. Now you get to listen to one song.
When I was driving to Atlanta, I would listen to like a radio station, and I would start hearing the song again. So I would hear the song twice.
Oh, wow. What if it's a long song, Thomas, like American Pie or Thriller? You only get like halfway through it?
Rhapsody.
Yeah, then I just take an extra loop.
Yep. Well, I always have friends that recommend podcasts, and I'm like, I have a 4-minute commute. I'll never get through a podcast. It'll take me months to get through one. Okay. I do those when I walk.
Well, Chris, you're our music guy. What song would be best for Thomas to? No, I'm teasing.
But I like old progressive rock, so he'd have to drive from Rockmart so you can listen to a 20-minute song.
A jam for sure.
Right, exactly.
A jam by old REM or something.
Yeah, but I used to actually live over in Sugar Hill, and I commuted to Rome. So I feel Danielle and Reanna's pain. It was an hour and 40 minutes each way, and it was nothing beats commuting in Rome.
Well, it's such a great it's a great business community too. People support each other, and you know each other and all that. So, always a special place in my heart. Kind of as we wrap up here, want to talk about maybe how you market yourselves, just as a business thing. Chris, let's kind of start with you. You've been around a long time. Is it word of mouth? Do you do any advertising? Obviously this podcast is a way to get the word out, but what do you guys do?
Yeah, we only do business to business. So we target our advertising. So like Chamber Magazine or, the local V3 magazine, things like that we've advertised in, really joining different organizations. Like the Chamber really helped in getting involved in the Small Business Action Council or the Education and Workforce, and just meeting people. I joined Rotary right after I bought the company, and so that really helped build some networking, and just being involved in the community helped. This year was a little bit more of a challenge with the pandemic, not really being able to get out and see people in person. We just had our first Rotary in person, at least that I went to. I think maybe we had one other, but we were just at Berry College, and it was great to see people live in person again.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to that stuff picking up. What is your website, contact information, social media, anything like that, where people can reach out and do business with you?
Yeah, so you can search Logical Systems on social media. Our website is logsysinc.com, and our phone number is 706-234-9896. And you can ask for either myself or Alan Truitt.
Okay, fantastic. Devon at the Davies Shelter, how do you guys market yourselves?
So we use a combination. We've got a website. It's daviesshelter.com. We are on social media as The Shelter and the Ruth and Naomi House. So we've got a site on both. And then Davies Shelter Inc. on Instagram. And we do have a Twitter account, and I can't remember what our handle is on Twitter. Obviously, I'm not using it all that often, but we're on it. So we share a good bit of our news, between our website and social media, and especially like our farm bus route. When we take the mobile farmers market out, we're letting folks know where we're going to be around town so they can come find us. You can reach us at 706-512-1152, and you can always speak to myself or Brian Harris as our operations manager. And we're thrilled to be a part of the Chamber. It really helps us. There's the nonprofit roundtable. Confluence this past week was, it was good to be in a space with other humans, but also to hear innovative things that make my brain think a little differently is super. And that is such a help.
And we want to mention your fundraiser again is June 27th.
Sure. Yes. 5 to 8 p.m. Tickets will be $50, and we'd love to have you out there with us at River Dog.
River Dog. All right, Danielle and Reanna, how, Charles Williams has been around forever, but do you guys have to do any marketing, advertising? What do you guys do? Social media, things like that?
We do social media is a big way that we advertise, and it's free, right? So we are very creative. It's a good excuse to be on social media, and it really helps get the word out. I think drive by our location. We're at 20 Chateau Drive. People see our new signs on both sides of the road. So there's 2 entrances. We get a lot of drive-by traffic. A lot of people, word of mouth, like we were talking earlier, in Rome, there's a demand for housing. And right now we're pretty much it. If someone needs to move as soon as possible, this is where you need to be. So we have a lot of people come by that were referred to us by our sister communities or other communities, knowing that we have availability.
And you guys are having a ribbon cutting ceremony.
We are. I'm sorry.
The ribbon cutting will be on May 11th at 10 a.m. We're very excited. And I just wanted to tell you our contact information. You can Google Skytop Studio Lofts. We have a Facebook page. Our phone number is 706-512-9190.
Okay. And so you have a special Facebook page just for Skytop Studio?
We do.
Okay, great. That's good to know. Thomas, any final thoughts here?
Final thoughts. I think a great mix of people today. Thanks for attending. And I think, there are some synergies already developing I like the idea of the transitioning people back into a workforce and into housing. And Rome needs housing to attract more business, and new businesses need IT. So there we go. Just keep networking. The best marketing tool you guys have is the chamber. So keep using us, keep asking us, attend all these networking meetings. Especially next week, we have our annual meeting at the Rome Braves Stadium. So I hope to see you all there next Thursday. We have ballpark food and a great program at noon. And if you want to get in touch with me, you just Google Rome Floyd Chamber. Our website is romega.com, and just ask for Thomas.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
This was fun. Interesting as always. Always great to talk business in Rome and Floyd County in Northwest Georgia. So again, thanks everybody for joining us. You've been listening to Rome Business Radio. This has been the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight. We broadcast from the Hardy Realty Studios, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. Thanks for listening.